Good morning. Hello, it's me, Reed.
I'm Jennifer. Welcome to another Faith at Home listening practice.
Yes, we're down on the farm still. You can see wheat in behind us here.
It's getting closer to harvest time here where we live in Saskatchewan. And it's beautiful out here.
It is. It's a beautiful day. So we just thought, why don't we do it outside?
We can hear the music of the insects and the birds and the rustle of the wind in the grass and in the leaves. It's a beautiful day.
Yes. So we're going to do a listening practice as usual, where we're listening to hear God speak. And God will speak if we listen. And we use a psalm. We use a psalm to focus our mind to listen to God. So, if you want to read the psalm, and what we're listening for is a word or phrase that just sticks out in our mind. And just remember that is God speaking to you, and listen for that.
So Psalm 21 from the Message translation. Your strength, God, is the King's strength. Helped, he's hollering hosannas. You gave the King exactly what he wanted. You didn't hold back. You filled the King's arms with gifts. You gave the King a right royal welcome. The King wanted a good life, and you gave it. And then you made it a long life as a bonus. You lifted the King high and bright as a cumulus cloud, then dressed the King in rainbow colors. You pile blessings on the King. You make the King glad when you smile. Is it any wonder the King loves God, that the King is sticking with the best? With a fistful of enemies in one hand and a fistful of haters in the other, you radiate with such brilliance that they cringe as before a furnace. Now the furnace swallows them whole, the fire eats them alive. You purge the earth of their progeny, you wipe the slate clean. All their evil schemes, the plots they cook up, have fizzled. Every one. You sent them packing. They couldn't face you. Show your strength, God, so no one can miss it. We are singing the good news.
Do you have something stick out in your mind?
I think just the phrase or the word strength is what keeps sort of rising to the surface for me. Strength, both God's strength and the strength that the Divine Family stirs up inside each of us for whatever the tasks of the day are.
I noticed that bonus as a bonus. Just that God not only supplies to the King in this case, but to all of us. Not just what we need, but more, even more than what we expect or need, or God can supply our needs. So that stuck out in my mind.
So we listen in a second round. This time we listen for an invitation. What is it that calls out to us, that invites us forward into the rest of our day, into the week ahead, the weekend ahead, wherever you're at in the cycle of your week? What is it that the Divine Family invites us towards?
Reading Psalm 21. Your strength, God, is the King's strength. Helped, he's hollering hosannas. You gave him exactly what he wanted. You didn't hold back. You filled his arms with gifts. You gave him a right royal welcome. He wanted a good life. You gave it to him, and then made it a long life as a bonus. You lifted him high and bright as a cumulus cloud, then dressed him in rainbow colors. You pile blessings on him. You make him glad when you smile. Is it any wonder the King loves God? That he He's sticking with the best. With a fistful of enemies in one hand and a fistful of haters in the other, you radiate with such brilliance that they cringe as before a furnace. Now the furnace swallows them whole. The fire eats them alive. You purge the earth of their progeny. You wipe the slate clean. All their evil schemes, the plots they cook up, have fizzled every one. You sent them packing. They couldn't face you. Show your strength, God, so no one can miss it. We are out singing the good news.
The invitation for me comes out of those beautiful images around being lifted up high and bright as a cumulus cloud. Are there cumulus behind us? A few.
A few, yeah.
And then dressed in rainbow colors. And so the invitation that I hear from the Life-Giving Spirit today is to allow myself to be lifted up, buoyed up, to experience consolation and brightness and light and color in my life today.
I guess the invitation for me is I was hearing that second half where it talks about enemies. And I'm not I don't think I have enemies. Hope not. More of my most of my enemies are internal or internalized maybe than actual people trying to get to me. But just that God is there to remember, and God is inviting me into that space of expecting God to help, I guess. It's sort of kind of connected to what I said in the first part, I guess, about just hearing something, that bonus where God gives. It's again giving. God is there. I'm not just twisting in the wind. My troubles aren't of no concern to God. God cares. And the expectation of God coming for help, that I can look to God for help, that I'm not alone. And even when it feels like it, that I can look to God, that God will send them packing. And that's my invitation. That's how I saw it.
I wonder what you heard, saw, felt as you listened today. Were there words or phrases that stood out for you? Is there an invitation that calls you forward?
Yeah. You can write it underneath in the comments or whatever to us, if you can get to us, or to other people, or write it in your book. At least take it with you, because that's what this is about, is listening to God for you, because God is speaking to you. So
And sometimes writing it down in your listening book might be helpful, but it might also be helpful to write it on a little piece of paper and stick it in your pocket so that you physically carry it with you for the day. Maybe you want to just carry it as a repeating mantra in your thoughts, but you might actually want to write it down and stick it in your pocket. And I'd encourage you to write the date on it. That way you can pay attention to what grows and changes over time. Thanks for being with us today.
Yes. We'll see you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.